Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for being here today. As always, like, share, subscribe. And now I got to tell you about some fun things that you can get into around these places. You'd never, you'll never cease to be amazed, right? So here in the shop, we actually, if you want, you can get a can of gold, a can of air, a can of fog. So lots of different types of cans that you can get. So the question is, can I open a can of worms? That's it. But I want to be careful here because I don't want to have someone else open a can of you-know-what on me. So Adam, ready to open up a can of worms, saying, hey Ben, just an idea, we should start a database for NGC and PCGS slabs that have been rejected or failed at CAC stickering. It would be a great thing for the hobby, would save a lot of collectors and dealers time and money. Why should CAC continue to profit on the same rejected slabs 10 times or more? CAC should already offer this information. It should be 100% transparent. Your thoughts, Adam Salisbury Coin. Thank you, Adam, for that. Yes, right. Yeah. Now you can send all your hate mail to Adam. Thank you. So this is something that's really kind of an interesting topic. So CAC has undoubtedly a list of coins that have not passed the muster, so that when it comes back in again, they already know that they've looked at it. My understanding is that both NGC and PCGS also have databases for coins that have been tried for crossover. A long time ago, I saw an article about PCGS saying that they have a image scanning software that when something runs through, they should be able to tell within like a 90% accuracy whether or not the coin has been seen by them before or not. And so that's in case a coin comes in raw, but they can still identify the coin. I don't know if they're still doing stuff like that or not. So the question I think here becomes one of whether or not CAC should do what we want them to do, right? And so the question was, well, like, why should they profit from us sending coins in 10 times over again? A couple thoughts on that. First of all, of course, the cynic is like, well, obviously they just can keep making money on stuff, right? And I understand that. Also, depending on the situation, like if I'm them, I actually don't want to look at the same coin 10 times. I'd be like, look, stop sending me this coin, guys. We're not going to sticker it. Okay, so like there's a part of me that thinks, maybe thanks for the money, but yeah, don't, like if it was me, I wouldn't want to look at the same coins over and over again. I want to look at new coins over and over again, because the reality is that yes, there's a money component to it, but there's a money component to what I do too. But like I want to have fun in what I'm doing, right? And so part of it is like if you're doing stickering, the fun is getting to look at all the cool coins. That's the fun part, right? So officiating the game might not be that fun, but being there is fun, right? Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe it's a bad analogy. So from the consumer standpoint, though, what do you guys think? Like, do you think this is a good thing or bad thing? And I've thought about this, and I still think that there's the scarlet letter effect, right? The red letter, do you get, if you look at a coin and there's a database and you could just like scan the coin and it says this coin was tried at CAC and it failed. Now what's your perception of the coin? Wah, 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 wah. Like you don't want it anymore, right? And so, and I don't know that that's a good thing for the coin market. I don't know if it's a good thing for the coin in front of you. If we have coins that have come in and I know I've sent them to CAC and I know it didn't sticker, and somebody asks me, I will tell them, hey, yes, we sent this coin to CAC. No, it did not sticker. Now, having said that, I've had enough feedback from you guys to know that not all dealers do that. In other words, I've had guys just say, hey, well, thank you for telling me that, because, it's in the back of their mind, right, whether a coin has been to CAC or not. And for a lot of people out there, some of you I know just hate the entire concept, don't like any of it, and so you're like, I couldn't care less. But if you're still watching, just give me a thumbs up anyways and say, thanks, Ben. This is an interesting topic for somebody other than me. So, but I don't want coins to get a red letter unless they deserve it. Now, the more interesting topic, here comes the can of worms, is whether or not you should actually have a red sticker for coins that are overgraded. And I think that this is probably by most people's design a terrible idea. But there are a handful of coins that I see that I don't like. My honest assessment of coins is that 80% of them are graded really great, maybe 85%. I know that most of you tune in on me and my open box video saying, hey, that was overgraded, that was undergraded, da da da. But a lot of the coins that come back, I don't have a lot of argument with. There's a few that I'll go to war over, but not too many. But occasionally coins I see are just overgraded. And to me, that's the real problem. And if you have the database that says things didn't get stickered, I don't want the consumer to think this is a bad coin that's overgraded, because that's not what it is. You still want all of those 85% of coins to sell in the marketplace openly. It's really only a small percentage of coins, in my opinion, that are overgraded. And that's speaking specifically about your Annex, NGC, PCGS, and CAC coins. I've seen coins in all of those holders that I think are overgraded, but not too outrageously. But there are some. There are coins that I got in that I'm like, man, I don't even want to have to resell this coin. What am I going to do with it? Sometimes you will hear me in my videos say, I think this coin is bright for the grade, aka this coin has maybe been cleaned and it got a straight grade for me somehow, when it's a coin that I think maybe should have not. Maybe it should say cleaned on it. And what do you do with those type of coins? And I've had coins that have come into the shop that were just like way overgraded. We famously looked at a Booker T. Washington, or it was Washington Carver, one of the two, in MS67, and it was like a $1,500 coin on the sheet. But I was like, I just finally told the guy, I'm not going to make an offer. I didn't want to own it, because myself and Jamie and another guy at work all looked at it and said, I'd grade this coin like a 4, not even a 5. The coin didn't even look like a gem, and it was in a 7 holder, and we just like hard pass. But what do you do with a coin like that? Now that's to me, it's an extreme example, but that's a coin that I would give the red mark to. I'd be like, hey, this coin is a loser. Someone's really going to lose money on that. And it's hard because, like, is there someone who can take the hit financially, crack it out, and like whatever? It's not even Robinhood, because someone has to spend the money and lose the money on that coin somewhere along the line. And maybe people lose money on it over and over again, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you going to do with those type of coins? So two different topics, really. The CAC, should they have a public record of what they've looked at and haven't stickered? And to me, of course, as a business, that's up to them to decide whether or not that's good for the industry. Maybe you guys can all chime in on that. But also, what's the scarlet letter approach? Like, does anyone else want to see that happen? I don't know that I want to see that happen, but I want to see that happen. There's some coins out there that aren't good. But once again, keep it all in perspective, because I think the majority of coins that are graded, like if I just grabbed all of my inventory at any given time, I think it's pretty easy to say 85% of the coins would be like, great. These coins are great. There's nothing wrong with this. And then there's some that'll be marginal. But the ones that are actually like really far off one way or the other, it's a pretty small percentage. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for being here. As always, like, share, subscribe, do the YouTube. You can watch more videos as they pop up, little icons up there. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks.